Okay, so we're going to talk about negative coefficients and inequalities. So when we talk about coefficients, we are talking about anytime you are multiplying or dividing a number when we're solving equations or inequalities. So if we look at this first inequality, it's -2 is less than 5, and that is absolutely true because -2 is in fact less than 5. If we were to take that inequality and multiply both sides of it by, say, -3, so we're going to multiply -2 times -3, and we're going to multiply 5 times -3. So -3 times -2 is +6, and 5 times -3 is -15. If we keep this inequality symbol, we're saying that 6 is less than -15, and that is absolutely and positively not true, because we know, in fact, that +6 is nowhere close to being less than -15. So this is not true. Okay, so anytime you are multiplying or dividing by a negative number, you must reverse your inequality symbol, because 6 is in fact greater than -15. So we must reverse your inequality. Symbol. Okay, so if we apply this to a inequality problem where we're solving for our variable, for example, if we were to look at the, let's say -5 times x is greater than 20, and if we were to go and solve this, we would have to divide both sides by -5. Okay, so when we do that, we're going to end up with x. 20 divided by -5 is -4. And remember, we need to reverse our inequality symbol. Okay, so we're going to have x is less than -4. It started off as greater than, but when we divide by our negative, we have to flip it to a less than symbol. So we're going to make a very important note and make it stand out on the side. And star this. So anytime you multiply or divide by a negative number, you must reverse the inequality symbol. Okay, so now because that is so important, I'm gonna highlight this with my bright yellow, because when you're looking at this page, or if I go back and look at it, I want to remember this is the important part of this page. That's the most important thing in this note section. Must reverse our inequality. Okay. Second part of this page is writing and solving inequalities. So this is when you have a real world scenario and we need to apply our inequalities to it. Okay, so suppose you are throwing an end of year party. The rental hall charges a $100 fee plus an additional $5 per person. Our goal is to spend no more than $220. So how many people can attend our party without going over our budget? So we want to write an inequality to represent the scenario, and we're going to solve and graph it. Okay, so before we can actually solve this problem, we need to write the inequality. So in order to write the inequality, we're going to take a note of the important information that we underlined. Okay, so we need to record our underlined information. So we have this $100 fee for the rental place. It's going to cost us an additional $5 per person. We want to spend to no more than $220. And we need to figure out what our X is going to be. So we have our fees and we have our goal amount. The question is how many people can attend. So our X is going to represent the number of people that we're allowed to have. Okay, so when we talk about no more than $220, we need to figure out our inequality symbol. So because it's no more than, it can be less than $120, or it could be $220. So that's going to be in a less than or equal to symbol. So it's less than or equal to, because it can be less than 220 or it could be 220. It doesn't say it has to be under $220. Okay, so let's write our problem. Ooh, that's not a very pretty arrow. Okay, so we have $5. We have per person, so we don't know how many people yet. That's what we're figuring out. We have this $100 fee that has to be added on, and then we know it's less than or equal to $220. Okay, so $5, however many people are coming, plus our $100 fee, it has to be less than this. So now we can solve that and figure out how many people can come to our party. So we're gonna solve the inequality. Of 5x plus 100 is less than or equal to 220. Okay, so we're solving for our x. Our x has a coefficient of 5. This is what we're trying to get by itself, so we have to get rid of our 100 first. So if we want to get rid of 100, we're going to subtract 100 from both sides. Or if you were just thinking about the scenario, the first thing you would do is say, okay, well, what if I didn't have this $100 fee included in my total budget? Like, what is my leftover after I pay that fee? Well, our leftover after we pay that fee, we're gonna have $120 left to spend. So how many people, if it's $5 per person, is that going to leave us with? So we're going to say, well, what's 5 times what number will equal 120? Well, 120 divided by 5 is going to be 24. Now, this is a positive 5, right? So our positive 5 does not change our inequality symbol. So that means we're allowed to have no more than 24 people, or 24 people exactly. So if we want to graph this on a number line, okay, 24, and it's less than or equal to, so since it's or equal to, it's going to include our 24. So that's a closed-in circle. And it's less than, so it could be any number. You're not going to have a negative number of people, but that's okay. It's going to include anything less than 24. All right. So that's how we're going to divide and multiply by negatives with our inequalities, and that's solving a real-world problem with inequalities as well. So good luck with this week's module. If you have any questions, you know where to find me.